So as I was doing this video this morning, I thought it was really cool because I didn't mean to sync this up, but I ordered these LED lights from off of Amazon. And I just thought that that was really symbolic of like the 10th house, like Mercury placement. I'm setting up a spotlight on myself. I'm creating a video. I'm in front of a camera. I'm speaking. I'm on center stage, so to speak. I am the talking head in the video. And here comes the sun in, and here comes this light in that shines a light on this. And I just thought that that was super symbolic of the placement. Today we are back for Mercury in the 10th house. Now, if you know me, if you've been watching me long enough, I think you know that I love anything 10th house because I have a 10th house moon. So I just feel such an affinity for anything to do with the 10th house. But let's get to it. We're going to go through our little cookbook. We have the 10th house, your fame, your status, your career, your notoriety, your reputation, how others perceive you. This is what you are known for, your position in the public, in a sense. And then we have Mercury, which is our communication. This can be any kind of communication, verbal, written, text messages, emails, actual mail, notes. This is also what we are talking about, how and when we are talking about it. This is our literal voice. It's also our siblings, our cousins. It represents transportation, short little trips on the bus, little Uber rides, train stops that are a couple train stops away. But the main focus of Mercury is the general way in which we go about conversing with people. We have three super cool celebrities. We have Albert Einstein, we have Billie Eilish, and we have Chris Brown. They all have a 10th house Mercury, and I'm going to incorporate them into the video a little later. First and foremost, always with the 10th house, probably the number one thing is your fame. 10th house is at the top of the sky, so it's on the stage, so to speak. No matter what planet is here, it feels like it is on stage. It feels like it's meant to be seen. It feels comfortable being seen. It's actually fighting to be seen. It's like, hey, put the spotlight on me. And for you guys, that's Mercury. Always remember that any planet in the 10th has deposited itself in the 10th house for a reason. It wants to be in the public eye. The sign on your midheaven is extremely important. I like to call the midheaven our second ascendant. Our ascendant is, if I walk into a room full of people, this might be their first impression of me, but my midheaven is like my ascendant to the world. That's how I look at it. So I really think your midheaven is a secondary ascendant, your baby ascendant, if that makes sense. One of the topics of the 10th house is how others see you versus how you see your career. Others will see you as intelligent, talkative, interesting. You're a varied person, a person with a varied mind. You know a lot about different things. You can hold lots of different conversations. They may see you as verbose, wordy. Maybe you're known in the office as somebody who uses big words. Others will basically see you as knowledgeable, and you will shine because Mercury is really taking charge here. You can really shine. This is about the 10th house. This is the spotlight. You can really shine here for your ideas, for your intellect, for any quotes or sayings that you may have, for any ideas that you may, put out into the world, is how people will know you. This can look like being a newscaster. This can look like being a podcaster, being an author. J.K. Rowling is an example. I don't know. I don't think she has Mercury in the 10th, but an example of someone who's known for being an author, known for her writing, for her words, for her books, for her ideas. A singer, an orator of some kind. People see you as smart, and you feel good showing them what your mind can do. When we take a look at Albert Einstein, when I was growing up, and I think everybody can relate to this, when people say, when people call you Einstein, it's a euphemism for being really smart. And it can be taken in one of two ways. Because he's known for these genius ideas of, hey, wear the same thing every day so you don't have to spend time worrying about your fashion. You can spend time focusing on something substantive. Stuff like that makes people will know, like, hey, that person's smart. But anyway, it either means like, oh, Einstein, like you're smart, or if you do something that's like kind of lacking common sense, people will be like, nice job, Einstein. It's a way for people, he has this reputation for being the smart guy, so the joke is kind of, okay, he wouldn't do something like that. You are known for being intellectual, even though I'm sure he has plenty, I mean, I didn't know him, but I'm sure he had plenty of moments where he lacked common sense because he's a human, but that reputation, that public image, that persona, that his legacy, it's your legacy too, that lives on after he dies, to say he was a smart guy. We also have a native with displacement. We have Chris Brown, and he is known for many things, some of them good, some of them bad, but I think his main title and how he rose to fame and what he would describe himself as, I think, is a singer. His voice is on the public stage. If you look even closer at his chart, he has Mercury and Taurus, which makes him an R&B singer. I think R&B and Taurus really goes. R&B is like so slow, it's soft, it's sensual, it's not too aggressive or fast or loud. That very much has that Venusian vibe, that slow, that bull vibe. It makes the voice beautiful. It's about art and beauty. So it's making the voice beautiful. So there's a beautiful voice and it's in the 10th house. It's singing, it's crooning, it's, you know, it's shining. It's like, hey, I can sing and I want to put those vocals out there for everybody to see. So I thought he was a great example. And of course, we have Billie Eilish. I did not know she had this, but the more I thought about it, it made sense. She is known for being a singer, although I think she's not like a Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, kind of like belting out notes kind of singer, but I think she has one of those voices that you just know when you hear it, like the Bad Guy song. As soon as you hear, you just know, like, oh, that's the Bad Guy song. That's Billie Eilish. It also has to do with your siblings, and her and her brother work very closely on her career, writing songs and making music together. So her sibling being a part of her fame, her sibling being a part of her becoming a singer, I think is super, super interesting and well-rounded manifestation of this 10th house placement that she has. Others basically see you as someone who is smart at navigating their career. You could also be a publicist. I forgot to say that, because you know what would go over well with the public, and people just kind of look to you for that knowledge in doing so. Also in being related to siblings, being known for your sibling, you could have a very famous sibling. I think about the D'Amelio sisters. Some of you might be too young to know who they are, but one of them is more famous on TikTok, super famous, and she got a TV show, and then one of the sisters was really having sort of maybe a little bit of an identity crisis, I guess you will call it, because she was just known as the sister. I think it's Charlie. It's just, she was fearful that she was living in this sister shadow. The sister is famous, or I'm only famous because of my sister. And she actually talked a lot about that. So I'm not using them as, you know, examples for having this placement, but I just thought it was a good example overall to see how the siblings can impact your career. It's about how others see you and your career. It's also about how you see your career and you see the public. Imagine you're standing on a stage with a microphone. Everybody's looking at you, and so there's that angle, but you're looking at them too. And so that's kind of this angle that I'm about to talk about. It's not necessarily innate like the moon. The moon just kind of knows. You are kind of robotic, you are kind of methodical about how to go about that and understanding what the public wants, but at the end of the day, you still come to the same answer by picking things up, talking to people, reading. You come to learn, not innate like the moon where you would know, or the sun where you just are, but you come to learn how to deal with the public and handle a career and an image, because it really is a skill to upkeep something like that. So for example, again, not a native, just a real world example. We have Olivia Jade. As far as I know, she was a YouTuber or whatever, just basically a rich girl. And her mother and her father were part of the college admission scandal where they paid people to get their daughter to college. She got a spot at USC unfairly because her parents bought her that spot. And then it all came out. I think both her mom and her dad went to jail for 6 months. But mind you, even though she's young, she's still in the public eye. That's a really bad look. It looks bad for the other kids. It looks bad. There are videos of her saying she just wanted to party. It looks bad because she already kind of had a very successful career that a lot of kids want. She could have took a spot away from somebody else. It just kind of looks like this Nepo rich baby, spoiled girl. Her parents are in jail, so that's not good. Like, it wasn't a good look. So when you have the 10th house, and everyone's 10th house is different, has different planets, aspects, signs, people respond differently. We take Beyonce, for example. Beyonce never says anything. It doesn't matter what the drama is. She does not address it. She just smiles and waves. You have Britney Spears, and she's a Sag, so she bears it all. She's, she's going to snap out if she feels. And that's fine, however you choose to be. A person who has a very much a 10th house focus, and it doesn't matter too much what sign is in, unless you have Saturn or Pluto here, you want to be seen positively, and you're going to do damage control. If you guys ever watch How to Get Away with Murder, Olivia Pope always says the best way to handle a scandal is to get in front of it. So back to Olivia Jade, she went on a tour, little press tour. One of the places that she stopped was at the Red Table Talk, where she kind of basically tried to, in my opinion, pass the blame off to other people and get some sympathy. And she tried to polish up her public image because it was tarnished it was a scandal. A lot of us, myself included, can see right through this and know that this is just damage control. But if you understand the 10th house, and you understand that doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if everyone likes you, if you're a celebrity or a politician or you're on stage. If a couple people in the audience don't like you, as long as most of the people like you, then that's all that matters. And if you can do something to sort of sway them even a little bit in your direction, to forget a little bit, to forgive a little bit, or to gain 1 or 2 more people to pay attention to you in a positive light, then you've won. She basically understood the network effect. The more people that use something, the more powerful it is. The more people like you, the more powerful you are. So was she sincere? I don't think so. I think she's only sorry that she got caught, but it doesn't matter. And she knows that it doesn't matter. She did her press tour, and if you look on her Instagram, it's very much minimizing that scandal and kind of just sweeping it under the rug. And after she went on her, she tried to do her damage control and tried to take it back to being positive. And although I do not agree with what she did at all, and I don't respect it, I think it's a really great example of what it means to take the reins of your 10th house. Be like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not just going to let my public image just like be what it is. I'm going to take the reins and steer it to where I want it to be. And I think, I got to say, she really did a great job of doing that. That is such a 10th house interesting case study if you guys want to look into that. And again, you don't have to win over everybody. You just got to win over some of the people. And you constantly have good ideas for how to do this. And this doesn't always have to be related to a scandal. It doesn't always have to be related to negativity. Let's say, for example, you own a coffee shop. Because of course you do, because you have 10th house. So you're about success and career and stuff like that. You are the type of person to say, okay, I have a coffee shop, but maybe I can start selling smoothies too. And then you have another idea, because remember, Mercury, boom, 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 Einstein, the light bulbs. You'll be like, okay. People may come in and they may say, oh, do you have food? And you might say no. And then you might say, oh, well, maybe I should start selling some toasted bagels. And then, oh, maybe I should have some games in the corner so that people can come in. Or I should put some USB chargers at the table. Like, you'll keep having these ideas after ideas after ideas so that people can plug their laptop or their phone and come in here and do some work. You constantly know how to bring in business, how to better a business, how to better a career. And that's really good because you're aware that at any moment with your little our hypothetical person with their hypothetical coffee shop, a Starbucks could open up down the street, or a McDonald's could open up a couple blocks away and take the food business. Like, you're aware of that. You're aware of career. I'm sorry, I'm getting so excited talking about this. I love this house. I really love the 10th house. So you're constantly like, how can I make this better? How can I solidify and cement this as a part of this industry? How can I get my star on a Hollywood Walk of Fame? How can I make my foundation in this world so stable? How can I make the stage that I'm standing on and the microphone that I'm holding metaphorically not just some rickety wooden stage with a half-ass performance? How can I really take it to the next level and make people be like, wow, look at that, look over there, look up, look what that person's doing. And you guys are great at that. And not everyone has that. I've seen people who have businesses who serve poor food and then it's closed down a couple months. Okay, well, duh. Or they have poor customer service. Look at Chick-fil-A. I mean, there's so many fast food places out there, but every time I go to Chick-fil-A, and as a side note, I don't go to any Chick-fil-A's in Philly because they need to clean it up a little bit. But almost every single Chick-fil-A I've ever went to outside of the Philadelphia area, this service is incredible. The food is incredible every single time. They say my pleasure every single time. Like, this guy looked me in my eyes. He was like, I really want you to have a good day. And I just felt like he meant it. And it seems silly, but it's not. It's a part of the Chick-fil-A experience. And it's why Chick-fil-A is probably the only fast food restaurant I go to. The people, and it seems silly, my pleasure and all this, little fluff that they do, but the people who sit in the office and get paid lots of money, the CEOs and whoever, to roll out these businesses, they put a lot of thought into that. They thought about the idea of customer service and bringing people back, and they implemented it into the store. They're teaching each employee to do that, and it really elevates the business. I mean, Chick-fil-A is a fast food restaurant, but the memes that we see about Chick-fil-A and the memes that you see about McDonald's are totally different. I dare you guys to go to a McDonald's and the next week go to a Chick-fil-A and see the difference and understand the impact of public image, of career, and of how you handle and how you approach it and how other people see you and how that adds or detracts from the success of your business. All 10th house placements, no matter what it is, will see their career as a marathon and not so much as a race. It's not about getting quick sales or quick gimmicks for you. It's about really, how can I make this last for the long run? How can I be here 20 years from now? How can I take my coffee shop and make it a staple of the community? How can I make a chain of it? How can I open another business? Or maybe I take the money from the coffee shop and I, build something. Like, it's that sort of vibe. It's the ladder. It's a ladder to the top. But the 10th house, imagine a ladder that goes to the top and it just goes into the clouds and it keeps going forever. But you're constantly trying to get up there. And I think it's just so cool. Any job or career path that is not interesting to you, I think will not hold you for a long time. Probably when you're younger, you may take certain jobs that are not intellectually stimulating because you may like the status of it, but you want to use your mind. You want to use your ideas. Again, you've got all of these ideas and you want to talk about them. And if you're in a place where you feel stifled, even if you're getting paid well, but you're kind of just in a cubicle and you're kind of just like, and you're kind of just going home and you're not letting that Mercury out, letting it out to play, then I think as you get older and you evolve, you probably would shy away from or not even take jobs like that don't allow you some input to be like, hey, I'm here and this is what I think. You may change careers once or even multiple times in your life. Like I say, you have a lot of interest when it comes to career. So there may be multiple things you want to do. Again, our hypothetical Jane Doe with her coffee shop, so because she loves books, but maybe she also wanted to, I don't know, do home decor. So she starts, while the coffee shop's running and it's doing good, she may start to sell some things in there and eventually branch it out into something else. Maybe she leaves the coffee shop altogether. Maybe she does multiple things. This is that Mercury, that Gemini energy of the duality, multiple things going on, changing from one to another, coming back again. All that energy, that's going to be the vibe of your work life, your career. When you talk to people about what you're doing, that's kind of the vibe that they're going to be getting. So when it comes to how you are at work and with authority, 10th house is authority. 10th house is also our bosses. I forgot to add that. Let's say you have a 10th house Mercury and you find yourself, you're maybe 20 years old, and you find yourself as a cashier somewhere. You're going to use your speaking ability to propel you up that ladder. This looks like being chatty and friendly with your bosses. They may come to like you, and when it's time for a promotion, they remember you because you've talked. It looks like let's say you work at the local deli and you're like, hey, everyone's been asking for this lemon cake, this new lemon cake that came out. Maybe you should order some. And your boss may say, even though you're not in charge yet, you're laying the groundwork. Like, I'm going to get in charge of something one day. I'm going to be in charge running some kind of business or career in some kind of way. Your speaking, your talking, your ideas, your communication helps you do that. It could be networking. I can't tell you how many jobs I've gotten because I was at one job and I'm like, man, this sucks. And I would talk to the person. They'd be like, well, I heard so-and-so was hiring. And then you go over there and say, oh, this is a little bit better. And then I'll be talking to somebody at that job and they'll be like, oh, well, over here, they're also doing this. And it's like, okay, now go over here. And it's like networking, talking constantly elevates your position and your status in life. So don't hold back. If you have a good idea, say it. If you want to talk to somebody, if you see the boss, even if you just say hello or just give them a head nod, communicate. Your Mercury, and I'm going to keep saying this, deposited itself here for a reason. It wants to be seen. It wants to take your whole chart like a little thing on the back and come on, let's go. Let's go up. And so you should really let it do that. And if you do get to a place that you feel is like a height that you like, you may just be a very chatty person at work. You may be a person who says hello to everyone. You may say, remember things everyone say, hey, how's your kids? Hey, how was that vacation? Stuff like that. And you're really good at working on a team because, again, the talking. If your boss comes in and says, hey, I want 4 of you to come up with a new idea for the business, whatever business, you like that kind of stuff and you're good on a team. And this is why your career can do really well. You like talking to people. You like hearing what they say to you. You like mixing ideas. You like throwing them out. You like writing, sending the emails, all that kind of stuff. That collaborative process is good. And not a lot of people have that. So if you have that, that's good, especially if it's in an air sign, Libra and Aquarius the most. Or something like Sagittarius. I would say even fire signs. Just really positive signs that don't need to be the center of attention, like working with others. You do well with this here. You do well on a team, I should say. How you feel about how others see you. I feel like I keep taking these words and like mixing them around, but it's like each of them means something slightly different. Any planet in the 10th house, any planet, Pluto, Saturn, whatever, we care so much about how we are perceived. And we have to take a minute or some hours or whatever in our life to understand that not everyone will perceive us how we want to be perceived or how we think we are. Sometimes people will leave our coffee shop a negative review. This will hurt us. This hurts 10th house people a lot more than anyone else, the opinions of others, but it's just something you got to work through. You are very acutely aware and sensitive to how other people see you. Other people's comments hit you deeply, even if you don't know them or have never seen them. A comment on your Instagram post or a comment on your YouTube channel, a review of your business or of your work, even if you've never seen this person before, will really stick with you for a long time. This is a symptom of the 10th house because it's about the public. So if someone at work doesn't like you or makes a rude comment about you, you may really on the drive home be like, why did that person say that? Why did they think that? I don't feel like that's how I am. What can I do to change their perception and stuff like that? You have to understand that when you are on a stage, when we are on the stage as 10,000 people, it doesn't matter who it is. Not everyone will like you. In fact, there is always people who will dislike you. And the more famous you are, and the more the spotlight is on you, and the more that you are on the stage, the more people that will dislike you. Even if you gain the majority, think about your favorite celebrity. There's somebody that hates them, you know? Or there's people that I don't like that other people really like. It's part of the game. It's part of being in the 10th house. It's part of being on the stage. I would recommend that you guys do a lot of therapy and inner work as far as not letting that eat you up, because sometimes someone can make a comment on your Instagram post, or people have made comments on these YouTube videos and they're not super nice, but it's not productive for me to get so into what this person thinks a stranger that I've never met when most of the comments are positive. But there have been comments that have been negative and they bothered me, and they bothered me for way longer than I know that they should. So it's up to us to build a sort of thicker outer skin for being on the stage, for being a performer. Take constructive criticism and feedback, but do not let it keep you awake at night or eat you up or make you feel depressed. And if you do, I would say take a step back out of the spotlight for a little bit. Do whatever inner work you need to do about whatever they said or whatever it is, and then come back, but come back strong. If your Mercury is retrograde, now Mercury is retrograde about 40% of the time. So this is going to be a staple of a lot of people's charts. When any planet is retrograde, it is a little bit closer to us. It looks like it's moving backwards, but it's not. We feel it more intensely. And this manifests in a couple different ways. Even though it's felt intense, it's what it's doing and what it looks like it's doing are two different things. This can add a little bit of a chaotic vibe to your Mercury in the 10th. You may feel a little lost at times, especially when you're younger, about what direction you want to go in with your career. Maybe you're very Gemini-like and you have a lot of interest and you can't pick, do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? You are very, you may be a little directionless, or you may not be able to settle down or commit to one path. There may be external circumstances that force you to reevaluate. Maybe the certain job that you're in is taken away from your family life. Maybe things have changed. Maybe now you have a kid and you really have to think like, now I might have to change careers. It's not so much a choice of like fun, like now I want to do this. It may be sort of like, my Mercury's retrograde. Things are a bit chaotic here. I need to readjust. Take a step back, calm down, and reevaluate what works for you and try to go in that direction. Because you're known for your speaking, for your ideas, words, blah, blah, you may say things that unintentionally offend people. Maybe make an off-color joke at work, or you start talking about things and people are just like, no, not right now, or hey, that was too soon, or something like that. You don't mean to, but sometimes I think your words can, like, again, you meant it to do one thing, like how it looks like it's moving backwards, but it really did something else. So keep that in mind. Think before you speak, especially if you have Mercury in retrograde in the 10th. The way that you view how to climb the ladder or get to the top may be illogical or impractical. Maybe you're like, well, I'm going to do this and then I'm going to win the lottery and then bam. And it's like, that's not really a good plan. I would again recommend everyone with Mercury in the 10th retrograde to speak with people just to get the base, some feedback, a soundboard to make sure that the ideas that you're coming up with for your career are logical, so that you're not wasting time and you don't have to change course down the road. Obviously, you don't want to disclose like, hey, I got this idea. You don't want people to steal your money ideas, but you want to make sure you are double and triple checking a path before you decide to spend a lot of time going down it. You may also just be not as talkative, especially when you're younger at work, about your ideas or with the bosses, but I think through therapy, and therapy doesn't have to mean like in an office, just through self-reflection and becoming more evolved and more confident in yourself, that will eventually go away, and then all the positive things about the Mercury in the 10th house will come out. So my overall final departing lessons, Again, I really love this placement. I don't think there's a lot bad to say about it. Number one, your Mercury needs to exercise, so let it. Make sure you let your Mercury take an active role in your career by talking, networking, and getting your ideas out there. Once you do this, your mind will be very fulfilled. Having a career that you're truly interested in, not one that just provides monetary gain or status, is the key to actual true fulfillment. And the last thing, I want to read it just how I wrote it. Always express your ideas when appropriate, of course, as this talking and socializing, Mercury will lead you to the high positive place that you are meant to be because your Mercury is meant to shine. So, you guys, that was it for Mercury in the 10th. I had a really good time doing this one. I like this one a lot. Please, all you Mercury in the 10th house people, or just anybody, even if you know somebody who has this, drop down in the comments and let's have a discussion about it. Tell me what you think. As always, be nice in the comments. I am a 10th house moon, so I am also equally sensitive, to the feedback that I get. Bye for now. I'll see you guys next time for Mercury in the 9th.